Fantastic. Now I have the verbal cue from my director-producer, Thomas Shelton Foster III.
We're rolling.
We are rolling. We are live at our very first podcast in our, well, it's not our first, but our new podcast room with
the
our
sound
new,
is off the hook.
right?
I like it.
So, who better to start our podcasting program than with the man himself, Jim Folliard, one of my best bros, partner in crime, who runs a video studio and has done a lot of videos for you people out there, certainly for me. And you make me look good still to this day, brother. Thank you so much.
Being behind the camera and making the on-camera talent look good.
He's the man with the eye. Right?
Yeah. You have said that before, and I've
yes,
come to believe that
the eye.
I do have a bit of an eye, a bit of a way to frame things that other people can't seem to get. I don't understand.
Well,
it's that hard.
Your great skills. But that's one of the great things about you is that, and you make people very comfortable working. A lot of people that are, before they come in, they're like, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm always, just do what Jim says.
It's like a good dentist,
Right.
People don't really like to go to the dentist, but if it's a good dentist, they can make you feel comfortable and you walk out of there with some clean teeth and it wasn't so bad.
That's right.
If they get up and say, that wasn't so bad,
then
that means they thought it was going to be bad, but it wasn't so bad. It happens with video, lights and camera and having to perform live is not always in people's wheelhouse. So when they do a good job or they feel like they've done a good job, they feel good.
It's a good point because it's a lot like we're telling lawyers all the time, but you do this every day. And so you're in a world that a lot of people are not in, which is behind the camera. Your job is to make people look good, right? And to tell a story visually. And you've done, I've known you for 20 years now? Longer, because we're old now. Has it been longer than that? I don't know.
1999.
Yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, it's just been great. And the first moment I met you, not to make it all romantic, but I knew something was special about you. You saw things differently, probably because you're a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. We hit it right off the bat. We just kind of saw things. And the way I look at marketing and the way that you're trying to capture something for a client is the same way that you look at a video. What are we trying to get through here? What you always are making the best of that subject. You just have the eye. That's why I always say that. And it comes down to lighting. Even when we were working on this, I told Thomas, I was like, get Jim in here because he's going to.
It's the experience.
Add.
It wasn't like that on day one. Just like a lawyer's not like that on day one. Just like when you built your first website versus the websites now. So the eye and the experience happen because of being in so many situations and having to think on your feet and work with whatever lighting you're given or the room that you're given or the event that you're given. So the more times you do that, the easier it becomes. And then so when you go in and meet someone for the first time, you kind of can blow them away with some of the images you get because you're experienced, they're an amateur photographer, and you were in the same room they were, but you got these shots or you set it up this certain way and they're like, wow. So to me, that's experience.
Well, and you have something that's really important about it, which is passion. I
was the guy with the camera in my hand. I still have a camera in my hand everywhere I go.
Right.
Whether it's with my family, for work. If I go to a shoot down in DC and I leave and I cross the bridge and I see the sunset over the city,
yep.
I might stop and take a photo because I love to just keep capturing imagery, and that's the way I guess I document life. And
well, we have your pictures. That's what our artwork is here at Foster Web Marketing, is because of your beautiful pictures. And people come in here all the time and are like, what's this? And anyway, fantastic. And like I said, it's your passion, and you always are ready to pick up the camera, ready to do it. make a slight adjustments. There's always some adjustment that you're making to make it a better picture, a better video, a better story.
Even a well-taken photo
Right.
can be improved with lighting and cropping and just slightly cropping it to remove that. And then it's even a better photos than, so yeah.
You've inspired
Combination
me.
of that experience and keeping up with technology and editing, the editing side of things and the media management, that's all how I've kind of grown. And yeah, the passion has led to me just wanting to work more efficiently, not spend as much time doing certain things. And when a new program comes out or a new camera comes out, it gives you the opportunity to just become better and faster. I like it a lot.
And we, and I know that I'm not allowed to talk too much about this because you guys told me that I'm not allowed to do this, but we got to talk a little bit about how we met. And then I'm going to talk, we'll talk more about your geekness.
When you were going downhill?
Yeah. Oh, well,
going downhill.
Good job on that segue. So, and it wasn't on a Segway. I was going downhill.
It was a mountain bike.
Right. It was a mountain bike. And
was it a log you hit?
It was a log.
Did you flip over forward?
I did. I did a
and what happened?
endo and broke my wrist badly, my right wrist. And this is back when I was just getting started.
You had just landed a nice deal to do some animation?
Yes. And yeah, well, to do the website and the logo. And it was a big deal with a big, well-known client. And I broke my wrist bad. I couldn't do it. And was told about you by my cousin, Sandy, who was your lawyer. It's funny. And when I was in the spot, I called him up and I was like, I need to talk to your guy. And I hadn't done it until then. And then you and I met. We didn't really meet. We went through somebody else that was your partner at the time.
Right. And
you built this great website and the logo, the Brain Injury Law Center. That's still the logo that he's using this day. Yeah. Yep. You did a great job. It was Flash back then, and it was great. I was totally impressed. And then we didn't work together after you gave me that for years. And then what's funny is my company took off. I never knew what happened to Jim. We just had this chance encounter. And then I was actually doing a search for irrigation, putting sprinklers in my house, in my yard, and came across this really cool website. And when was this? This was
2005.
Yeah. And I was like, wow. And on this website was a video of a testimonial of a guy talking about what a great, and the website was really cool. And that was affordable lawn sprinklers done by you. Reed Libby, who we ended up, he was a web client for a long time. And then, you introduced me. He was like, oh yeah, that's Jim. And then it's like, turns out that this is the guy that I worked with years ago.
Yeah. I mean, way back then in 1999, I had I'd got an opportunity to do redskins.com. And that's kind of my transition from just.
Did you all catch that?
A video camera to being able to do kind of a gig that I quit my job and went full-time redskins.com in 1998. It was the first time the Redskins had a website. It was only the 5th website at the time in the NFL for a team. Like, imagine that. The websites just kind of trickled on as teams adopted the internet.
Well, that was before broadband or people were able to even see video on except for super.
So I was the multimedia guy. My job.
Look at that. We got to. Sorry. I know. Like, this is the. Anyway,
So my job was to capture interviews and pre-game tailgate party, stuff like that, and make it available for the growing people on the World Wide Web. We had people in Mexico that were going to redskins.com to get news on their favorite team, the Washington Redskins, who at the time in 1998, kind of coming off 3 championships.
Wasn't that pre-Dan? It was pre-Dan.
That was. And in fact, Dan Snyder bought the team
and fired you.
So that's when we started Gearbox.
Mistake.
And I sold a lot of websites. And so back to the story is that I was building websites back in 2003.
You were building website, right, and doing video. Yep. And then we connected, and I was like, I want to put on video for lawyer websites. And it was back before people were doing that.
Yeah.
Now it's very common, but we were bringing lawyers into hotels to video them. And
Yeah, I mean, we would just find times that conferences were happening and then try and cherry pick
early
guys
days
to talk. And those guys that got on camera way back in those early days are still out there doing good. You know?
Yeah, and those videos are still
early. I mean, they're low quality as we look back on them 10 or 12 years ago,
but that's what put a lot of guys on the map. You know, Ben Glass, it's one of the first things that he adapted.
Yeah.
And I know that he's used, you know, he always uses gear shift on, and so people at GLM will recognize you, of course, because you're always doing the video for them. So that's our story. We'll keep it to that. We won't tell all the other stuff.
And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And so we work together, still partners to this day. And that's how we got introduced. But wow, we've come a long way. And now with this podcast and in a couple of podcasts from now, we're going to have Brian Mitchell in here, which is great. Brian Mitchell, Hall of Fame football player, Redskin, who you have a lot of experience, not with only with B Mitch, but we're lots of Redskins because of all the videos, all the commercials that you're shooting around here. So
yeah, I mean, I've had a chance over the years to work with a lot of athletes and celebrities, hundreds. I mean, I've photographed and videotaped hundreds of athletes and celebrities, and whether it's for a commercial or an event or a red carpet or whatever it might be, I've just had the opportunity to work with a lot of people. So that's way back when I was a kid, I always looked up to movie stars and athletes, and wow, I would love to meet them one day.
Right.
So the
camera, you were like that?
I kind of was like that.
You don't act like that now. You're like no big deal.
I'm not sitting there trying to get their autograph. I'm not the guy like, do you mind signing this? You know, not too much.
We know because we're like, next time Darryl Green comes in here, Jim, you should let other people know. Right?
Sometimes the athletes respect someone that's true. That's trying to get them in and out, and they don't have
Thomas,
to waste time.
Do you have like some images to pull up here that we can prepare while he's? So
now would be the time.
Yeah, now's the time to throw up some celebrity images of people that you've worked with in the past.
I'm game.
Right. So tell me, how did you get introduced to like Barack Obama?
I never actually got introduced to him. It's not like we were hanging, but that was
Did you take that picture?
Yeah, that was an event in the Capitol before he was president.
And who's that? Kim Kardashian.
That's Kim Kardashian. That's Alexander Ovechkin of the world champion.
Right. And that's back on the green screen studio right here,
James.
Right? These are people that have been in the studio.
Tracy McGrady, if you scroll back up, that's Ben Glass and
oh yeah, Dan Kennedy.
Dan Kennedy.
And Rem Jackson. Yep.
6'9", Tracy McGrady. We had to sit him down to do his shoot. There's Brian Mitchell on the left. There's Drake in the middle. There's Brian Beckham, Foster Web marketing client for many years. Hold on, Thomas, you're scrolling fast.
I know.
Because we didn't see the Calvin Klein version of your dad right there.
What's that? Oh. That is...
And the rock band.
Yep.
Our host today is a rock and roller. It's known to jam on the guitar.
There's us together. Anyway.
Bradley Beal of the Wizards.
Okay, so these pictures are great. I appreciate that you're putting me up here in your collection. But this is one of the fun things that we do at the green screen studio. Who's that? Wait, next to Superman. Is that Mike Tyson?
So you worked with Super Bowl commercial that we did for a local heating and air conditioning company, Michael and Son.
And that's Mike Tyson's son in the back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. So, I mean, you've worked with tons of celebrities besides moi, you know, so I guess if you're like working with me every day, kind of, you're like, oh, whatever, big deal. Mike Tyson.
I mean, I don't look at them as celebrities. I just look at them as another person in front of me on the camera.
Right.
That we're trying to get a good shot, or we're trying to get them to say this line, or we're trying to get you to answer, what should I do if I've been in an accident? Or if I twisted my ankle, what's the first thing I should do? You know, it's a lot of just loosening up the person to get them to talk naturally. Because when you're natural, you're going to be better. And athletes aren't so natural on camera. They're good at slam dunking over my head. But when you get them to say like Easterns is the most trusted source in the DC area, sometimes it doesn't flow so well.
Right.
And so yeah, it's the whole goal is to try and make anybody who you come across that's going to be on camera be comfortable on camera, whether they're a celebrity or not.
So that's a great point. And we were talking a little bit about technology, because you use technology. You've always been since I've known you, you've always been like the latest, what's the new thing, 4K. You were on 4K before everybody else even knew what it was, including me. You had a 4K video or TV screen in there, and you're like, look at this. And I was like, well, why did you do that? And you're like, well, it's the next thing, and da-da-da-da-da. And you always have the greatest.
I have always been.
Yeah, you're on top of it. So why do you do that? Why?
Because I love having the best possible camera or the best possible lights or the lens that I think is going to make a sharper, better image, or a computer that's, I mean, I'm not like buying the most expensive stuff where I'd have $100,000 camera. I'm doing all this with a camera you can buy at Best Buy
Sure.
for $2,000 or $3,000, and lenses that cost a couple $1,000s. I mean, the great thing for me as a video producer and a photographer is that the cost of the production tools has gotten a lot cheaper than it was just like in the 80s and 90s. I mean, stuff was way expensive, $100,000 to get some stuff that now would be $15,000. So
what's your favorite part? Is your favorite part the
I've
videoing or the editing?
To the whole kitchen and eating experience. And one part is you go to the store and you buy food. So some people might think that's fun, going to the store and picking out the finest ingredients to then come home and put it in their refrigerator, and then to decide, what meal do I want to make right now, and take certain ingredients out of the refrigerator and put it on the table, and then chop it up, and then cook it up, and then put it in the oven and bake it. And you can bake a little or a lot amount. Same with video. You can make short videos or long videos. So it's the same thing. I go out and shoot, try and get good content. Then I bring it back, and then we take all that content, we put it on the table, we chop it up. And so that whole process of shooting out in the field, acquiring images, I love. I also love coming back and reviewing the images and then making the project. Sometimes I'm shooting a lot. I'm shooting. It's 1 or 2 weeks of gathering images. At some point you miss your kitchen. You want to go back and cook some food. You've stockpiled a lot of stuff. I want to go back and work on it. I mean, I have editors that help do that, but then sometimes you're in the editing booth and you're in front of the computer all day and you're knocking out a bunch of different projects and you're kind of bouncing around and you're listening to answers to questions and you're chopping things up. And then that gets to be a little bit monotonous. Like, I wish I was out shooting something now, I want to get out. So, but I like the non-constant of I'm not doing the same thing every day. That's what I love about the job.
So I've known you for a long time, and you've been back in the studio, and I'll go back there and I'll be like, where's Jim? To Sam or Don or whoever's back there. Always out shooting. So you're the shooter, though. I mean, you can teach, as you've done, people how to edit your shots. So would you say that getting the eye and the lighting and being able to get the initial, I guess what I'm getting at is crap in, crap out, is it critically important to get that shot? And then you can't edit out bad shots, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
That's kind of why I get called back. A majority of my business is repeat business. I don't want to just do one video for you and then you go find someone else to do other videos for your business down the road. I want people to come back. I have clients that have been more than a decade coming back to do work. So definitely having the eye or learning the components of what make a good composition, that's like super important. And it involves lighting. Lighting is a real huge factor. It's not so much your camera. you can have an iPhone and have good lighting and good sound. We could be doing this podcast with an iPhone, 2 iPhones, and because the sound is good and because our lighting is a little bit, it's not just flat, we have a little bit of a stronger light coming over here, a little bit of hair light up here, a little bit of light that's like hitting our shoulders here. So if we just flip,
I think that you got the lighting just to
like those
show
lights
off your biceps is what I think.
Yeah, I mean, you want to
Notice I wore long sleeves today on purpose because I'm not going to play this game with him. I knew what you were doing.
I was doing curls in the.
I know you were. But that's a great point, is that people are like, oh, video. And sure, it's not hard to like shoot a video, but are you going to shoot a really good video, high quality video that people are going to want to watch? Or is it going to make you look like an amateur? And that's
investing a little bit in lighting and sound.
Right.
Because again, the camera, there's a lot of camera options. We have thousands of camera options, but no one wants to really like spend the time thinking about spending $1,000 on lights and how great that can make your videos.
So you've done lots of kinds of videos. You've done obviously commercials. We just showed some Super Bowl commercials. So you know how to do
a lot of video
that.
marketing.
Yes. You've shot conferences, I know for GLM, but Broadsoft and other car shows, right?
Football camps, music videos.
Yes. Yeah.
Weddings,
Tons.
documentaries.
And also what we call FAQ videos or
FAQ videos.
Right. So would you, I'm really interested in getting your response to this I'm going to just ask this question as a marketing person. Do you feel that, where would you say that the video, where is the best use of videos in marketing? Like,
it kind of depends on the vertical. You know, if you're selling shoes or a product, then maybe it's certain videos that are quick to grab your attention about the product.
Like videos,
not
right?
so much talking, maybe
right.
a little more visuals and some text flying in. And so it's like, look at this new watch. Like, you don't need a lot of talking. You're like, ooh, the first thing that you're going to see is the visual of that image, and that might lead you to the shop now button. But someone that has a specific issue, let's just say it was an Amtrak train crash, which is kind of a specific injury that someone might be involved in, and somebody goes and types in Amtrak train crash lawyer, and then you get a video of a guy that's like, hi, I live in the New Jersey area where we get a lot of Amtrak train crashes, and my firm has handled more than 17 Amtrak train crashes. And here's a couple things you need to know about these cases, because they're very specific. Number 1 is A. Number 2 is B. Number 3 is C.
Right.
And those videos to that person at that time are going to connect very well, even though it's going to be a boring video of somebody talking with bookcases behind them or a white screen behind them, just talking about that. But their ability to talk, their knowledge, the way they come across is going to be representative of you actually working with that person when you hire them. So you get to project all of that to a potential client in a 30-second or 1-minute video, and that could be very powerful. That could lead to $1 million of revenue for you.
Well, as we know, because we've done that. Those are the breaking news videos that we've done.
A breaking news
right?
video.
Where you connect to like what's going on. And you're right. I think a lot of people, business owners, are seduced by what we'll call ego videos, which are really all about them and their story, and that there's a place for those. Would you agree?
Totally.
The
Law Hawk.
Yeah.
Is, those are good videos. But yeah, like our firm's been in business for more than 150 years.
Those are all good.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, that's good for certain people. But again, helping solve someone's problem is usually the first step, or giving them the price of something or whatever they're looking for. Giving it to them is going to please your client versus them clicking away because, oh, I'm not going to come back to you. You didn't give me the answer. You're not helpful. And in the future, if I see you, I'm going to assume you're not helpful because you're just talking about yourself. and I want answers. So
I think that what we can see in terms of other media, like with CNN and all the news have videos attached. You have some that have videos attached. You have some that are just content, some that are both. So where do you see video clips and just video as content? How do you see that progressing in the future?
I think educational, how to, and it's always needing to be refreshed as well. Like how to do things and procedures and sales, all that kind of stuff is great for video because it's selling for you 24/7. It's training people 24/7. It's always available, but it always has to be updated. So I see video being around for a long, long time to help people through certain situations from that perspective.
Well, people buy from people they like, and videos introduces you right to that person right away.
Yep.
And we're used to it,
But I still like to read.
Yeah.
If I get to a CNN story, I don't want to wait for the whole news anchor to tell me the story.
Or the ad.
I like to just read down.
Right.
This happened. But then sometimes I like to see the story. But most of the time, I'm actually a reader of news. Always. I mean, it's
Daryl
sometimes
Green.
when you get to hang out with some celebrities or athletes, they're very cool. I mean, Sean Taylor, the late
Yes.
Sean Taylor was a great 1 hour photo session that I had at his house where he came down out of his townhouse and helped carry lights in from the back of my car into his basement. And he had just had a baby and I had just had my daughter. So we were talking about kids. It was not like a typical NFL safety conversation. It was more, again, just two dudes talking.
Right.
And through the whole photo shoot, we have this photo on our wall here.
Right.
So it's just like it's a guy that in the media got kind of, you probably might have had a bad impression about him based on how he filtered through the media. But a lot of people also came out after his death to talk about how one-on-one he was really a great dude. So where were we?
Well, no, that was good. And it just kind of shows that this is how you work with people. So who's the most famous celebrity, would you say, that you've worked with?
I don't know.
Besides,
there's the LeBron James. Worked with or photographed. I've been in the presence. I've been at nightclubs. I've been on stage with Beyonce. I've been, in the VIP area with Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg.
Right.
And Diddy and a lot of the Redskins and a lot of the Wizards and other footballers. So we've had Art Monk here in our studio.
That was the best.
We've had
That was one of the
Art Monk came in and showed us
Art Monk. We have those pictures of
3
his
NFL rings, and
that was funny that day because I'll never forget it. I was in my office and Buster walks in. He goes, "You should go check out who's sitting in the reception area." And I walk out there and there's Art Monk, and I just was like, "No, you're not." And he just giggled. What a nice guy. Very unassuming, very nice gentleman.
His name is actually James Arthur.
Yeah. Ah.
My name is actually James Arthur.
There you go. I liked how you reached in and got deep on the voice on that. See, it's just another one of his skills. All right. So what is your favorite kind of project to do, Jim?
I can have fun doing any project kind of not repetitively. For example, if I had to do a football camp every day for 2 weeks, that would not be fun. But if I did a football camp for 2 days, that would be fun. If I had to shoot a conference for a day, that would be fun. Maybe 2 days, that's fun. A 1 week conference of just shooting people at a podium, maybe not so.
What is your funnest one you've done so far that comes to mind?
I've had thousands of shoots, so that's hard to.
I know, but I'm going to hold you to it. Like if you just had to call it, what would be one of your, besides the Mad Brenda video?
I mean, when I work, let's say I'm shooting LeVar Arrington's wedding in the Turks and Caicos in 2005. That's fun because you're in the Turks and Caicos with a private group of 50 people or less. But I'm working. I got a camera in my hand. I got to run over here and get shots. I got to go to the groom side and get interviews, go to the bride side, get back and forth, hustling for 2 days. So it's fun because I'm getting a lot of shots, and I'm setting myself up to make an amazing video and a happy customer. And so, but it's also hard work at the same time.
I find it fun to hang out with you.
It's kind of my whole...
When we do it, when we go out and shoot videos together and I hang out with you, although I learned a long time ago to just shut up and just participate and let you do your thing because you have the eye. All right.
It's fun. I mean, I have no complaints. I've chosen to want to do this, and the better work that you do, the more business you get. It's kind of like a...
And it's cool the way that we work together because obviously our niche, not exclusively, but our biggest niche is law firms, and taking your skill and what you do for the celebrity world of, athletes and otherwise, and bringing that to the world of law firm marketing is pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, video is a useful tool, and we've been working with lawyers for a long time, so we definitely know a little bit more about that niche than others.
And how to promote the videos and how to just get attention on them.
Yeah. And we've always had that, we're not trying to do the Law Hawk videos. We're trying to do the informational video approach.
Some of us might like to do that, though, at some point. We have some good ideas coming up for some videos that we're producing. Thanks to our friend Thomas over here. He's going to be challenging you.
The power of the green screen.
There you go. All right, my brother. Well, thank you so much for participating in this first podcast. What am I calling this? Are we really calling it the world of marketing? I like Tom Talks.
That was last year.
V2.
The great big world of marketing, brought to you by Tom Talks of Foster Web Marketing.
There you
with
go.
Jim Folliard of Gear Shift Productions in association with Fairfax City Board of...
So, to close this out, if you want professional videos done, commercials done, Jim is your guy.
Jim
I couldn't.
Gearshift.tv.
Yeah.
That's Jim, Jim, at Gearshift.tv.
Do. You got to at least call the guy and ask him what he thinks about your project. So 100%. I mean, he's just been, and not only is he a great partner, he's just a great guy and a great friend. So thank you, Jim, for everything, brother. Love you, man.
Thanks for having me out today.
All right, everyone.
Thanks for flying me in.
Right.
To do this interview.
All expenses paid.
We'll be in town tonight later, so yeah.
At the DJ booth. Yeah. All right, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your podcast listeners, Joanna and Allie, our 2 listeners. We love you so much. We will send you
Production
fruit
team.
and a jacket. Thank you.
Peace.
Well done, Thomas Foster.